Today I'll be sharing a delicious peach cobbler recipe that I think you will truly enjoy. As always, I hope you try out this recipe and share with your friends and family. If you're new to this channel, I would appreciate if you took a minute to hit the subscribe button so that way you get notified every time I have a new video released. Alright, so without much ado, let's get started. So let's start off by preparing the peaches. So first I cut lengthwise until I hit the pit, and then twist off the flesh of the pit from the pit and then cut into chunks. So you want to do that and then put that away until we're ready to use the peaches. So next I'm going to squeeze half a lemon. So this recipe calls for some buttermilk, but because I do not have buttermilk, I'm going to be using a substitute. So I'll put some lemon in a measuring cup and then fill up the measuring cup to the top with whole milk and set that aside. So that will be ready for us to use when we're ready to make the drop biscuits for the cobbler. So next, back to the peaches. So we're going to put some of the butter in a pot and then add some sugar. Then heat on medium heat until it starts to bubble, and then add in your spices. Stir this in and continue to cook until you see the butter starting to separate. This will help intensify the flavor of the spices. Once it gets to that point, you want to add your peaches and then add some lemon juice. The lemon juice will help to freshen up the taste of your cobbler. So mix that in and let it cook for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then scoop out your peaches into your baking dish. Once that's done, cook down the rest of the syrup until it's thickened. So this also will ensure your cobbler is not too watery. And then once the syrup has thickened, pour that on the peaches and then set that aside. Now it's time to start working on the biscuits. So next, add the flour to a bowl, and here you'll see me adding the cold butter, but typically you should mix in all your dry ingredients first, but I got a little distracted and you'll see that I fixed that later on. So here you see I'm adding all the dry ingredients, so make sure you add your spices, your salt, your baking powder into that mixture and the sugar. And then you want to mix that in thoroughly. Mix all of that in thoroughly. Make sure it's all mixed in. And then start to squish the butter into the flour mixture until it starts to look like cornmeal. Next, you add your buttermilk. So remember, we put aside the milk plus the lemon juice. So that's what we added in here. So mix that in. If your spatula isn't working, you can go ahead and use your hands. So just mix that in. It's going to be a little sticky, but do not over mix it, just until the flour is well combined with the rest of the wet ingredients, and then drop that onto the peaches that you set aside. So that's done. So next you want to bake that at 425 degrees for 15 minutes, and then your peach cobbler is ready. So the cobbler is so delicious that you can enjoy it on its own. You can have it with some warm custard, or you can enjoy it with some ice cream. So here I'm enjoying it with some butterscotch vanilla ice cream. Also I'm drizzling it with some of the syrup from the peach cobbler. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I enjoyed making this video for you. Take care and enjoy the rest of your week.